There are people that like being angry.
Me.
All right.
Let's talk about recordings. Can you or can you not record at work?
Well, if your question really means surreptitious recordings,
Obviously.
of course. From a criminal code perspective, you can surreptitiously record. Take out your phone and record the conversation you're having with the other party. And the reason you can is it's sort of a one-party consent rule under a criminal code. And obviously, if you're recording, you're giving your consent to recording that conversation. So yes, you can. But that raises a very interesting point. There's a really good case out of British Columbia where standard scenario, 10-year guy, financial analyst, pretty good income, and he's a complainer. He complains about maybe he's being discriminated against with no particulars, doesn't file pursuant to their policy. He complains about one of his subordinates' compensation during the course of her maternity leave. He's just complaining nonstop. All right. So cut to about 10 years in, and he's really upset about the bonus. He says it should be formulaic. They say, well, no, it's clearly discretionary. And he gets upset over it. He gets so upset that he sends an email that says, I don't agree with you, and if you better change your approach to the calculation of the bonus, failing which I'm going to litigate. Well, that doesn't sit well with the employer, understandably, and the employer elects to terminate on a without cause basis. And in fact, the employer only provides the employee with employment standards minimums on termination. There was no employment agreement limiting entitlement. So, of course, he's entitled to common law. He brings a wrongful dismissal action, as he should, after 10 years and only getting employment standards. Well, he also brings a human rights claim. And in the context of the human rights claim, it comes out that he had been recording conversations for almost 10 years in the workplace. And in the litigation, the wrongful dismissal litigation, he starts with the story that says, hey, listen, I wanted to learn English. He's from Russia. So I recorded so I could teach myself English. Well, that ends up metamorphosizing to basically I'm protecting my human rights claims and I'm kind of being bullied. And so a variety, once again, of these complaints, but he's recording conversations with his superiors. He's recording conversations with HR. He's recording conversations with his colleagues, all surreptitious recordings. And he even admits, they wouldn't have been happy had they known I was recording them. So the court in the litigation, in the wrongful dismissal litigation, they become aware of this, of course. And then the employer says, well, hold it a second. This isn't just about how much severance we offered the guy. We're now going to allege cause, which you can do. It's called after acquired cause, and they do. And ultimately the Court of Appeal determines that, look, this guy, by so extensively recording surreptitiously conversations, clearly ruptured the necessary trust that you need to have in an employment relationship to ensure its viability. And so the court did support the employer's assertion that it was cause. And, really the way the court characterized his motivation to record surreptitiously all these conversations was that he was basically looking for a catch, a gotcha, one of the gotchas. Mm-hmm. And if he got a gotcha, then he could use that for a future complaint. And the court said that was inappropriately so. That was wholly inappropriate. So a very interesting sort of interrelationship between this idea that, yes, you can record surreptitiously and not violate the criminal code, but if you do it certainly to such an extent as he did in the workplace, it may very well constitute cause. What's the last thing you laughed at? Well, it's pretty recent, I guess.